Alright, so we are Front Park for the Olmsted Community Alliance West District meeting, October 29, 6 p.m. Thank you both for coming. Be in the video. Hi! And basically for this district, there's not much capital projects ongoing right now, other than the perimeter security that was recently almost completed, and there was still some talks around the gate, the entry gate, where they wanted initially was like a solar power gate, but then I think they couldn't find, there was some engineering things around that, so they couldn't do a solar power, and now they're still in the works on electrical sources and all that. So there is no update from the city. But part of that, if you can look around the park, there are new speed humps like around the Perry Monument that were installed, and I think there has been some improvements with cars like doing the donuts. Yeah, so hopefully you've been getting less complaints, because we've been getting this.
Far fewer complaints.
That's good. Okay. And new trees planted all around the perimeter over there on Busty, as well as boulders that are put in to enhance the security of the park area, especially when kids and youths are playing soccer. There is also a security camera that is monitored by the BPD on that side of Busty Avenue. It's not so much on, they don't like sit there and look at it 24/7. It's more if something happens, they can refer back to it in a passive way to check on what happened. Yeah, and then let's see. You have any questions on that project? Okay. Prospect Shelter in Prospect Park. We have basically right now the city is working with the contractor to figure out some issues around it's not so much on the building itself, it's more of like the contract related stuff. So we're still waiting on updates from them, but also following which there will be a community engagement process with Olmsted, our committees, to kind of work with the community on deciding how to activate that shelter in Prospect Park. So for those of you on Facebook, Prospect Park is right across the street, Busty, and then there's Connecticut.
No,
I think Columbus Parkway.
Columbus.
Yeah, and then Prospect Park is over there, so it's just a few blocks away from where we are right here. And there is a historic building there. It's a shelter building that's currently closed to the public, and we are hoping to activate it soon in the next few years, and in working with the city on starting that process. Any questions around that? Okay. The library is, I believe they were supposed to round up the project at that library in Prospect Park to restore the lawn. Not too sure of the status of that. We also had some staff change over in the area, so we have to connect with them again to follow up, basically. Yep. And then Days Park, we have, I believe there was a meeting recently with the Elmwood Village Charter School, Olmsted, and the Block Club. So for those of you on Facebook as well, Days Park is a pocket park in the Allentown neighborhood, so kind of like towards that direction. And we have Mary here, who is part of the Days Park Block Club and resident there, and it's a heavily used park by the students in the Elmwood Village Charter School as well as the park neighbors. So we are trying to work out a system that would better serve that park. Right now the turf restoration is we don't have a actual plan for it yet, but I think we really have to go back to the drawing board with the school and the block club to figure out, should we get funding for the restoration, how can we make sure that the park can be left alone during the restoration process.
Well, even to be clear, the school is using the park as an athletic field, and the park is not meant to be that, or does the city charter allow that to happen?
Yeah, so reviewing, to your point, reviewing these policies or the charter to check in so that we can come up with like an agreement so that everyone's on the same page, because we don't want to, if we get funding to restore the turf, we want to make sure that it's done well and that we don't do it and if it gets damaged again, then we have to go back to square one.
I can speak for the neighborhood that unless there is some change of use by the charter school, the neighborhood would oppose restoration of the turf because there's no reason to restore the turf.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, I believe at the meeting, I just wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page. At the meeting, so there's some poison ivy around the fountain. So for Olmsted, basically to look into how to manage that situation. So we've taken it back to my colleagues, to see how we can work a plan out for next season, so hopefully to improve that situation there. And it's not just today's park, there have been more occurrences across the park system, so it's basically coming up with like a poison ivy management plan to improve that situation across the board. And we will also be as throughout the park system, there will be managing the fall leaves, but at the same time we're trying to be more sustainable in letting the leaves stay a little longer to help with the environment and the insects. I'm not using the right words here, I'm so sorry, the nature people. It's like, basically it's like the leaf leader something. Yes. So I will share more. I'll check in with more information and I can share it with everyone as well. And basically prep the entire park system for the winter season, so making sure that any limbs that are closer to any limbs that could be hazardous to park users or around the streets, to prioritize those in case there's an incoming storm or hazardous weather, so they won't damage houses or be safe for park users. And we will have a volunteer event with EVCS on the 4th with the students to volunteer to clean up Days Park for the fall. Any questions?
We do have a number of trees that the limbs are dead and they're extending over the roadway, and I believe Debbie Grimes pointed those out to Noah.
Yeah.
They are really urgent to repair. The neighborhood volunteering to take care of the gardens worked out pretty well this summer, including tree trimming and weeding and planting and watering. And I think you were helpful in getting the fire hydrant.
Yes, the fire hydrant.
We appreciate that so very
of course.
much. We are perplexed that we always see people weeding in the circles, and they never seem to make it to our beds in Days Park.
Okay. I will check in on the the schedule, I guess, or like the rotation, like what is the strategy around that.
Noah came and helped us plant, and he was absolutely phenomenal and spent the whole day with us. But we bought the mulch, we bought the plants.
Yeah. And that was great, so we appreciate the block as well.
I think one update for Front Park is that plaque is being moved.
Do you know if that is...
I'm working... It's, I think, like a friendship agreement with the U.S. and Canada. It's like the Kiwanis Club has taken this on. So they're just waiting on funding from our office, which at this point is just paperwork that we're working through to have the plaque moved.
Okay.
So
do you know, is that approved?
It was approved by the Arts Commission.
Oh, nice. So
how old is the plaque?
That's a good question.
I'm sure I've never seen it.
The plaque is
1920.
Wow.
over there. It's somewhere in the air. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know that has been a long time coming. I think they've been talking about it for
at least 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. My God.
So, yes.
Okay. Super. Awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited to see something happening.
Okay, let us know how we can support that effort.
Like I said, I think at this point it's just getting the paperwork done so our office can give them some funding. Kiwanis Club has raised a significant amount of money on their own. Sounds like everything's been approved by the city, and so now they're just getting the need to work with the Deputy Commissioner of Parks on getting the permit and the contractor too, basically.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Sir?
You should introduce the other member of the meeting.
Anyone on Facebook have questions? Feel free to comment below, or you can also email at community@bflaparks.org. And that's it for me. All right. Bye!